All right, guys, how's everybody doing today? My name is Tim Stundis from TSSGolf.com. I'm a silver certified SPI instructor up here in Massachusetts. I'm here with Tim from Hackers Paradise, who we started working at the end of last season on getting him a new putter, on kind of changing his stroke, developing a routine for him to kind of become a better putter with. Last year, Tim was playing with a putter that was a little bit on the shorter side for him, a little bit more upright. So he had kind of, his posture was a little bit messed up and was really kind of giving him some trouble with consistency around the green. So last year we fit him into a MFGP CS, which is the original Seymour head, made out of a carbon steel, 34.5 inches, 69-degree lie. So putter went a little bit longer, but a little bit flatter to get his eyes in a much better position. So we got him a little bit farther away from the golf ball, which is going to help him develop a more repeatable putting stroke that's going to hold up a little bit better under pressure. So he's gotten used to the putter, which is really important now. So he's gotten used to the length, he's gotten used to the lie, he's gotten used to the grip. We want a little bit different style on his grip size. It's a little bit smaller underneath his right hand, but a little bit bigger underneath his left hand. Just made his arms a little bit more relaxed. So today, now we're just going to make sure that everything now is just kind of going to fall into place. So we're going to make sure that the putter fits in the right way. We're going to make sure that his body is the right way, and we're going to kind of go over what I do in an SPI lesson, in a putting lesson, which is what I mainly focus on. We'll kind of go from there. So Tim, what did you think of the fitting process from last fall?
I was surprised at how intensive it was. I was surprised at how thorough it was. Things that I never even thought about affecting my putting. You pointed out that would affect my putting, and we changed those things and modified those things, and I started putting better than I had better than I ever had before.
You know, and the main thing is, what I've seen is that I was a golf pro running a golf course for a long time. I've been golf business my whole life. I worked for a couple of the larger equipment manufacturers as a sales rep. Every single time I would go to a meeting or I'll go to a golf lesson, somebody would always say, "Hey Tim, I really need a golf lesson." And I'll say, "Okay, well, you know, what's going on?" "Oh, my driver stinks." Okay, well that's great. You know, anytime I'll go on a sales call, people would say, "Okay, you know, what's your newest driver look like? What am I going to be selling this year?" You know, and that's all great, because that is what we get to, you know, you see on TV, that's what people like to go watch, they like to go see these guys hit the golf ball a mile. Fantastic. Biggest thing is, I mean, you can go out and miss every single fairway and miss every single green, and you can still shoot even par. But if you go out and you three-putt every single hole in the golf course, you're going to shoot 100. So right then and there, you know, the putting is going to be the most important part of the game, and it's probably the least practiced. And it's probably, you know, the least amount of fun to practice too, because a lot of people don't have a game plan or don't know what's going on. The biggest thing, what we're seeing now in driver technology, we'll go there for a second, is adjustability. Every single company has adjustability built into their driver. You sit back and go, okay, well, why is that? Well, because now these guys know that the way for you to hit the golf ball farther, the way for you to be in control of your golf ball a little bit more, is with a driver that fits the golfer the right way. Right lie angle, right loft, right shaft flex, whole deal. It's just as important with the putter. If I can put a putter in your hands that fits your body the correct way, that makes your hands and arms and shoulders, spine, everything all relaxed, now instantaneously that putting stroke is going to automatically feel a lot freer, a lot smoother. The ball's going to stop bouncing, the ball's going to stop skidding, and you're going to start putting a lot better. I see, in my opinion, what causes the yips, why people get the yips, is because they have a club that doesn't fit them the right way. So they're playing with something that's too long, or too short, or too upright, or I don't know what. I've seen absolutely everything, but those clubs that don't fit them right makes the player have to manipulate the club face through impact. And if you're trying to manipulate a club face through impact under pressure, you have no chance. So number one, a properly fit putter is going to put you in a much better position to make a more natural stroke, to make that putter release the same way every time, to make the golf ball go in the same exact direction every single time. So that's why I really think you got to look at this club, look at that putter, look at getting that putter fit for you, and look at making sure that your fundamentals which is so great about this Seymour putter because it puts you in the right position to kind of go the right way. So what we're going to go through now, we're going to have Tim roll some putts for us. I'm going to just kind of go through what I do in a normal putting lesson. You know, if I'm working with a tour player, if I'm working with a 30 handicap, it's all pretty close to the same. So we're all trying to get everybody in the right position. We're going to try to tweak things the right way, and you're going to automatically start to see a lot better results. I mean, last time Tim was here, before he even had time to practice with his own putter, he was already starting to see the ball was starting to go where he thought it was going to go. When he had that image on the green of where that ball was going to go, he was hitting it there because he had a putter that was fit for him. Now it's just a matter of if we can get him in the right positions, the right stroke, now his distance control is going to be a lot better, and he's just going to take his putting up to the next level. So there we go. So kind of the number one thing when we're going through putting lesson, what I like to do with the student is sit back, just kind of say, you know, Tim, you know, how's everything been going? He's, you know, having a conversation about how his putting has been. So, you know, I know it's been the winter time, but you've been practicing at home. How has everything been getting with your putter over the winter time?
I'm getting more and more comfortable with it. I'm starting to build some muscle memory. I'm starting to feel like I'm building a routine, and it's starting to feel repeatable.
Okay. Do you have any biggest thing is when you look at your putting, where is your confidence level going with it? I mean, how has it been? Has it been do you feel as you're consistent as you should be with the putter, or where are we struggling with right now?
I'm just excited to start the season because my confidence is through the roof.
Okay.
Every time I pick up my Seymour, I feel better. In all honesty, so I'm just looking to continue that.
Perfect. You know, the same thing. Before we get started, one more thing. Last time when he came in, Tim was the best when he came in at the end of the fall last year, because he said, "Hey Tim, I know you do this for a living. I have all these putters against the wall, every grip, every head, every shaft, anything you want." He's like, "I want you to build me a putter." So this was a really, really kind of good tool, because I got to have him in the FGP, which I think is the best head that a putter's ever been made out of. Got him in the right grip, the right length, the right shaft, and he said, "Okay, I know this fits me now. Now I'm going to go home and work with it." So that was an absolute home run where I wasn't kind of fighting any barriers kind of along those lines, and you know, it's going to pay off this year. So let's just roll some putts for me, and we'll go from there. Putting green.
I love this putter. I love this putter. I made the other day at home. I made 22 putts in a row.
So distance control on your putts towards the end of last year, how was it?
It started off, I struggled with my distance.
Yep.
That was probably the big question mark I had.
Yep.
And the more I used it, the more confident I got. And I started trying to miss putts about. My goal was about 6 or 7 inches past the hole.
Yep.
I know it probably should be a little farther than that, but I got to the point where I was lagging a lot of things early on, and then I really started to try to get the ball past the hole, and I started to find that I had a lot more success with that. So that was really ultimately my goal, and it started to pay off. So I really started to see a lot of positives as the year went on.
So, distance control is probably the most important part of putting. So what we want to do here now is, I can see why you're having some issues with your distance control, and I'm seeing a little bit of tension in Tim's right hand. So I'm seeing just a little bit of tension in the grip, a little bit of tension out towards the fingers. So I'm seeing when he brings his putter back, I'm seeing a manipulation of that putter face, kind of a little bit of a hit, kind of a little bit of small of a hit through impact, just a little bit. So when you get to 10, 12, 15 feet, the distance control will be okay. He might not make as much as he wants. He might not make as many of them as he should be making. But when you get out to that 30, 40, 50, 60 feet, if you have that little bit of hit in your stroke, ball's going to bounce a little bit, ball's going to skid a little bit, and that's going to give us a pretty big variance, you know, believe it or not, in our distance control. So, so right now, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing in Tim's stroke, we can see it here, when we set up to the putt, we need to have everything line up. We need to have our knees line up, our hips line up, our shoulders line up, our eyes line up, and really most important part is to have our arms lined up. So our arms are parallel with our eyes, shoulders, hips, everything all the way down. In this triangle, when we're here, we always want to kind of keep it the same. We always want to have that thing rock. So you're looking at, you know, same thing as a golf swing, being on plane. We want to have our arms swinging on plane. If we develop a little bit of a hit in our stroke, we go from here, and this right shoulder, this right hand kind of comes out a little bit and puts a little bit of a pop onto that golf ball, which is not going to be good for your distance control. So just that small little thing is going to have kind of a huge kind of impact on your putting. So really want to make sure if you're working with mirrors, you're working with an instructor, is that you want to get everything to line up the same way that you would have everything line up in your full swing. You want to have everything line up right here. So let's do this. When we come in here, we're going to roll some shorter putts. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at, now we're trying to go through the situation. We're trying to figure out why he's having this little bit of a hit. So let's roll that putt for me. Because that setup, everything looks great. It's set up, his shoulders, his forearms, his knees, and his toes are all on the exact same line of his putter. So that's number one. That's really, really important. That's why Tim's kind of seen some more improvements. When we first started working, I think his feet were aimed left, his shoulders were closed, so and then his putter face was aimed left. So his feet were left, his shoulders were right, his arms were left, his putter was left. So he wasn't lined up. He wasn't like on two sets of railroad tracks. He was kind of all over the place. So just getting that putter that fits him the right way, because he's not stretching for it, because his putter was a little bit too short, and that's why everything was kind of out of whack. It's really made his setup get drastically better. And then now it's just a matter of, just trying to get that feeling of that putter, just releasing, just trusting it, because it fits him the right way. Everything in a dress looks great. He's just doing it himself, and that's a really easy thing to fix. So let's figure out what is going on. So first thing that I look at is going to be his grip pressure. I'm going to try to figure out why this right hand is doing what it is. So put your hands on your grip for me. Perfect. Let's put that putter down like we're going to stroke it. It's good. You just want that right bump just to be kind of sitting on top. Good. Make a stroke for me. Okay. Do it again. When you make this putt, I want you to get the feeling of, when you're making your stroke, I want you to get this feeling that this putter is lifting up off the ground a little bit. Okay, so I want you to feel like that putter's coming up like if you were chipping like a 7-iron. Okay. I want you to feel like that putter's coming up and it's working its way down into that golf ball. Okay, so I want you to feel like you're hitting that ball in this part of your putter face, up top, like you're hitting the driver. Okay. Yeah. Better. Okay, and I want you to feel this time. So you feel this angle, right here. Yep. I want you to feel like you're keeping this angle the whole time. Okay. Okay. So I want that to feel pretty consistent. Yeah. I don't want that to break down at all. Okay. So. Good. Really good. You know, and the thing is, I don't want to add any tension to your putting stroke. Yep. but we just want this putter to be an extension of like kind of our shoulder muscles and our back muscles. We don't want this putter to be an extension of our hands or forearms. We just want our hands, our biceps, triceps, forearms, hands just to be along for the ride. So right now I'm just going to have Tim set up behind the ball, and there's an angle right here with his hand, and right now I'm seeing this hand break down. Okay, so I want to see this hand here remain in that same angle the whole way through.